G'day people and welcome back. We had a look at the 75mm on the Renault G1R in the last video. Now we're going to be looking at the 105mm. Now as you can see immediately, it doesn't have the same traits as the German and American. I believe it's American. No, it's not. It's the German. The German 105mm. It has the same traits as the American 105mm, and that is that it does not have AP ammo, which means it holds less ammo overall, which can be an advantage and a disadvantage. Theoretically, you're not going to fire all of that ammo in a single game. If you do, you're going to be spamming, and generally people at this tier are not going to let you do that. They're crazy lot, these tier 5 bastards. They really are. As you can see, it's not very accurate. It takes a while to load, and when it does load, the chance of it hitting is quite slim. I like to run pretty much 25 HE ammo and 10 premium ammo. The premium is for higher tier targets. Just in case I get into a tier 6 or a tier 7 game, you know, I really do need to hit hard. It's flat armored targets, and I have that 10 shells there. This is pretty much the gameplay. If you're using HE, you could do full damage, but you might not, and the chances are that you might not. We're looking to hit the side of these tanks. They're just poking out for me. That's nice of them. Yeah, that wasn't us that got that damage. Now, to do full damage, you have to hit a flat surfaced target and meet the requirements of the penetration. The penetration on the HE ammo is 64. So if you hit a target that has 63mm of armor, you will deal full damage, which is 410, I believe. If not, the damage amount will be reduced, like so. Now there is Reticle Lag. Because this was in between a micro patch, the replay has suffered a little bit of glitchiness, and there is no known cure. We're going to advance now. We've done a bit of damage, and this tank has enough grunt in the engine to troll up across this little aggressive part here, and we can start finishing off these tanks. Now, one thing I will say that this tank can't do with the 105 that it can on the 75mm is take on heavy tanks. As you saw there, 75 damage, and that didn't hit his tracks. There's a snapshot. We don't want return fire, we want to keep our full health. We're going to side scrape because our side armor is actually quite nice at 60mm. Looks like he's going to we'll take the Covenanter over there. Doesn't do full damage even versus a Covenanter. Absolutely appalling. Oh well. One thing about HE, it won't bounce. Su-85 over there. Oh, takes a shot at us. Hey, that's flat armor. Nope, he angled it. Increasing its armor effectiveness and not dealing full. We can see his lower plate. See, lower plate KV1 does less damage than hitting the side of his armor. I guess that's not a very good comparison, but the first shell could have hit his tracks. See, we're not quite sure on what happened there. But yeah, that's one disadvantage. From the front, I'll never beat this KV1. So we load the expensive shells. And we do full damage straight through his turret, and somehow exploding, hitting his engine, and just on fire he goes. Turn that KV-1S into a popcorn. And we just fired 5 grand into the dirt. Side scrapes versus this T-67. Put another gold shell straight through his face and one hit him. So it's good that I'm actually getting these shells out there. You can see how both of the shells perform. I have seen a lot of people using the 105mm on different tanks at tier 5. They seem to just either spam the gold, or they just don't know what they're doing. So they won't even use HE effectively. See, HE on this tank is actually quite effective. And I find that on all the other 105mm, it's not worth firing gold unless you're looking to one-hit someone, which it just can't do versus heavy tanks. So running high explosive is such a good idea because you can actually do something against heavy tanks in that situation. Whereas the heat shells, they may cost a fortune and go through more often than not, but versus a heavy tank, 100 penetration is not going to go through all the time. There you go, we just fire 5 grand off into the distance. That'll probably hit someone in another game. We're not looking to die here. We've had a good game. It'd be nice to go out alive. Got 3 kills. Not only that, but we've come down to just 2 of us. Wow, this game tensed up nice and fast. And the SAL 42 tells me to hold my position. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to move. It's a Su-85. I don't know what gun he's got, but if he's got his big gun, he could easily kill me in one hit. What's that? There he is. Oh, I know, he's behind a hill. He's going to kill the M2. Need to move up. Uh-oh, he spotted us. Say good night. So yeah, that's the 105mm, and you can get a close look at it, just in case that's what you're interested in. A look at the tank. Look at that. Look nice and juicy and beefy, this tank. It's a fun tank to play, and I love the selection of guns. I would like a buff on the 75mm, but I think it performs okay. The 105mm, it's... I don't think I mentioned this, but it's not as good as all the other 105mm. Not by much. I mean, it doesn't carry as much ammunition as the German 105mm, but it doesn't reload as fast as any of the other 105mm. So basically, this 105mm on the French tank is the worst in the game by like 0.3 reload time. But it may be significant, but it's still the worst. Doesn't matter how you put it. On paper, it's not the best, nor even second worst. It is the worst flat out 105mm at tier 5. Having said that, it then comes down to the tank, and I think the tank kinda does it well. It can kinda make up for it, but its armor is its making up point. And with a lot of other tanks, armor doesn't count for shit when you go into higher tiers. So, I don't know what else to say about that. Anyway, that was a fun game. Let's have a look at the stats. well, that was fun. Um, yeah, high caliber, ace tanker, 44,000 credits, 1852 experience. Now, yeah, we did more damage than we did in the last game, which you can expect with this gun. Although, on whether or not it behaves, that's a different story. 75mm is much more likely to behave. The 105mm, it's not very accurate. Yeah, 1235 experience, so we definitely did better than the last game. And through various trials, the 105mm seems to perform a lot better than the 75mm. The 75mm just seems to be more reliable at doing damage. So, you know, you'll do 500 damage, you'll do 300 damage. The 105mm is... you could fire 2 shots in a game because of how bad the mobility is the tank is, and you could only do 300 damage. So they're about on par. But when you have a good game, having the 105mm will work out better for you, regardless, because it has higher alpha damage. It has that explosive effect. You know, it just comes down to how that gun works, you know. It just hits harder. You require less opportunity to be able to do more damage. So, yeah, I mean, the 75mm is more for skilled players. The 105mm is really for reading the map and putting yourself in a better position so that your gun can perform. I guess that's the same with both, but the 105mm is very picky and takes a long time to aim. We only earned 17,000 credits out of that game from the 44, so the other gun is the 75mm is definitely more profitable than this 105. But having said that, if I was to sum up which gun I use currently, I would say the 105mm. I love the 75mm, I love its accuracy, I love to be able to snapshot. But when it comes to making the tank perform, I've found the 105mm to be more reliable. Its damage isn't reliable, but you know, you fire 5 shots with the 75mm, and sometimes 2 of them or 3 of them won't go in, and it just frustrates you that you have a medium tank gun. Yes, medium tank guns have lower pen, but you should be able to go through at least most other tanks with that kind of gun. With the 105mm, you're firing HE, so it's always going to go through. And sometimes, if you hit that perfect spot, it'll just one-hit the tank. Or even higher tiers, you can just troll them with 2 shots and they're dead. It's a funny tank. It really is. I mean, the 105 is definitely my preferred choice. It's how I've got my mark of excellence. It's how I'm farming the second mark. Slipped as of late, so I don't have 2 marks to show for it, but I will. I'll get back in this tank one day. But yeah, anyway, that was the 105 review on the Renault G1R. If you liked the video, thumbs up. It helps a lot. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, and they'll definitely be coming. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.